Hi, this is Jeff with GYS Welding USA, Precision Equipment Systems. Again, we're going to talk about the arm changes on the GYS Spot Welders. This is a PTI machine. It's the same for the LCX machine if you have an LCX or a BPLC. So the PTI, the LCX, and the LC are all the same to change and adjust the arm. I'm also going to go into the clamp adjustment as well. So when you're welding, if you do need to change an arm, this one right now is set up. The screen's in auto mode. We're on a C1 arm. So to change the arms, the first thing we have to do, you hear the pump running, hit escape, and you just heard the pump shut off. And we have a picture of a wrench. That means we're in service mode. The pump is off. You do not have to turn the machine off to do this. Just hit escape. Turns the pump off. So now we can disconnect. If we come over to the gun, we can now unlock it. We can disconnect our cooling lines. And then lift up our lock tab right here, and the arm comes right out. Okay, this is a C1 arm. All of the GYS arms are numbered. That's a C1. So there's a few things when you change the arm that we want to make sure we do. I'm going to put a C6 on it. So the C6, there's where it's engraved. I intentionally grabbed a used arm out of our training center so that we could look at it and look at a couple things we want to make sure of. When we grab an arm, body shops are very dirty environments. These arms have a copper grease in the contact points. So we want to take a look in here and here, as well as in the cradle, and make sure that they're clean. What happens in the typical body shop is you have dust, body dust, and with grease here, you get an accumulation, and putting the arms in and out and clamping them, you'll get a cake buildup possibly, and that can act as an insulating factor on the arms. So we want to make sure if they're clean and they look like that one did, you're fine. If you got to clean them, just wipe them out with a paper towel. And then with every welder, you get a tube of copper grease. So I always just use my little finger. We're going to put a little bit of copper grease. Just wipe it in there like that. You don't need to glob this stuff on. Just a very thin coating is all you need. So just a very thin coating where these connect. That'll assist with the transfer, the electrical transfer. You also want to take a look at your locking pins, make sure that they're clean and they're not all full of dirt and debris. So you'll want to watch those and clean those as well. So if everything's clean, you don't need to do this. If it's not, just a general maintenance thing, clean them up and then slide your new arm in. Lock it down and hook up your water into the quick disconnects. Another thing you want to always check when you lock an arm down, there's an adjustment right here. There's an adjustment on this locking lever. If you look at the side, I'll go ahead and put this one in. Whoop. When I lock this down, if you look underneath this, there's a pin, and this has a shoulder, and you can see that that does not roll all the way over and contact the stop. If when you lock your arm down, you feel it go past about the 2 o'clock position and it makes contact and stops on that pin, you need to adjust this. That means that your arm is not being locked in tight. So to adjust it, in your accessory kit up on top, you have a little 4mm Allen wrench. So what we're going to do we're going to unlock this little Allen screw. And now I can turn this knurled nut right here and it'll adjust my lock. So if I loosen this, I'll put my C6 back in there. Now I'm hitting the pin. I'm loose. You can hear it hit. I want this to lock in about right there, at about the 2 o'clock position, okay? So to adjust that, what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to adjust this nut, and as I tighten it, that will start to lock in. You'll feel it right there, stop. So once it stops, then I'm going to snug this nut back down, right here, with my wrench. And then I'm going to check this and make sure that it locks. I can actually go a little bit tighter on this one. The only thing that this little lock screw does is it keeps the larger knurled nut from moving over time. So right there, we're good. We're locked in good. Okay, so now I can go ahead, click in my cooling lines. I can go ahead and lock this in, push down my lock pin, and I'm ready to go ahead and calibrate. So to move further, what I need to do is, right now I'm on a C1 arm. It's critical that when you change an arm, you need to tell the machine what arm you put on it. I put a C6 on it. Okay, we're still in service mode, so I'm going to hit escape one time. It takes me to the single side gun, which we haven't talked about yet. We don't have installed on this machine right now. I hit it one more time, it takes me to the C gun. So escape goes to service mode, one time single side, next time C gun, which is what we're going to use. We've already identified a C6. Double check, make sure you're locked in tight. Hit the top button to calibrate. And now you're ready to weld with your C6 arm. So just a quick recap, when you change an arm, hit escape, turn off the pump, disconnect your cooling lines, unlock it, change your arm. Before you put the new arm in, check, make sure it's clean. Put it in, lock it down. As long as you have good lock tension on it, then you can go ahead, identify your arm, hit escape twice, calibrate, and you're ready to weld. Thank you.